Hi, Zizaran here with another video straight from Exilecon, and today we're going to go over all the announcements step by step, all the PoE2 announcements, and we'll have a separate video for the upcoming PoE1 league. Obviously, we don't have the patch notes and stuff for that yet. There's a lot of cool stuff here, so they blew everyone's expectations away.
Path of Exile 1 and 2 will be separate, with their own mechanics, balance, endgames, and leagues.
And there's a lot more than we could have ever imagined. I was not expecting that they would split the game. I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, professionally, this is a very good thing for me. But other than that, I don't know how I feel about it. I obviously, objectively, it's a very good thing for me, right? Because there will be less downtime between leagues. And that is the main takeaway here. Because that's a big issue for a lot of people that want PoE as their main game. Is that, well, they're kind of forced to play other games, right? Because you will run out of things to do as a veteran player and like someone like me. And now we're going to have that as less of a problem because there's going to be 6 weeks between PoEs and constant things happening, right? Well, there'll be more than 6 weeks, but there'll be way less of a gap now. So they will have separate balance, separate release, separate leagues, content, and offset releases. So you can go from PoE1 to PoE2 to PoE1. You'll throw in some D4 and other games that you want to play, like Tarkov, RuneScape for me, etc. And all purchases carry over to both versions. Now, they did mention, obviously, there are some things like the Druid, right? If you buy a Druid cosmetics, like maybe you can turn into Polar Bear instead of a Grizzly Bear, then that will not be available in PoE1 because we don't have shapeshifting there. And we have 6 new classes in PoE2, the Warrior, the Huntress, the Sorceress, the Mercenary, the Monk, and the Druid. And there were so many things they just kept blasting us with. 1,500 new passive skills, a new campaign with over 60 bosses. There's going to be so much endgame stuff coming out of that too, right, that they can reuse. Full new campaign, more difficult than before. It was a lot more difficult than before. I did get to try it. I have a video of me playing it up. I tried to be better with the overlay than last time. And it was crazy hard. Now, they have said it's overtuned, so it should be easier, but whew, 36 new ascendancies. So that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. 6-person co-op like PoE1. Dodge roll by pressing the spacebar. I don't know what that means for movement abilities, or maybe you can like enhance your dodge roll to be like flame dash, etc. eventually. I really don't know what they're going to do with that, but there's no cooldowns, no limitations, and it has pathfinding so it doesn't get stuck, but that was not in one of the videos, so they did actually get stuck. But I think that's a slightly older build, right, that they show off to make sure that it's fully functional. And yeah, the strength dex int thing is kind of gone from what I understand. It's strength and int for Druid and Templar, dex and int for Monk and Shadow. They start in the same location, and there's spirit as a new mana reservation mechanic. So you unlock spirit by killing bosses and items, and that's how you reserve mana. Like reserve auras. You don't have to like compete. You can have like unreserved mana and like, yeah. It's a pretty good idea, I think. I definitely like that. Gems drop uncut and you right click them and you choose what skill you want. I think that sounds like a really good idea as well. There's metagems as well, which is they can be modified to give skills different properties. So cast one, shock, etc. I managed to find spell echo, which was lucky, and I will try to do some more playthroughs tomorrow. So out of the new classes, you have Monk, very, very fast, based around mobility, execute skills that grant power charges, so it's like culling, and the culling stuff has indicators as well. And there are skills that are dynamic, so kind of similar to like the Fisher skill we have for Chieftain, right? Or, well, Chieftain uses it a lot, but like way, way more than before. Now, it is definitely a slower game. Some people are saying it felt a bit more like Dark Souls, and it kind of does to some degree. So very different than what we're used to with PoE so far. I think this will make the most amount of people happy when you really think about it, because there are people that don't like PoE1 and there's people that don't like the direction PoE2 is going. I'm a little bit worried about how the dev split's going to be. Like, are we getting 2 lesser quality games? Is obviously a big concern. And they've changed the way like crowd control works on bosses now. You can like freeze bosses a lot easier. So that's like poise. I see Scry here in like notes. He was like, make fun of Mark for dying on the demo, L nerd, but I died like 3 or 5 times. It's so hard. I'm like very, very impressed that I made it so far, because that was a boss too. I didn't even get to a boss in my demo. Now, boss rushing that you used to in PoE1 is gone. You gotta restart from the very start. So yeah, Scry here put L, softcore nerds. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And I've heard, I wasn't at one of the talks, I didn't listen, I was too busy playing the card game and trying to get the Mirror of Calandra. Apparently logout macro is gone as well in PoE2, so that's going to be very interesting. The game's going to be built more around it. Or maybe they just meant that it's a full reset when you log out. I'm not sure if you like stay in the game. But either way, that sounds really cool. Obviously, there would be a bad thing if you stay in the game for 6 seconds and disconnect, because then you just die every time your PC actually crashes. Thankfully, not a big problem for me, because I don't really have much instability or crashes, so not a huge problem there. But I really like the full reset. I think that's really cool. That's the way it should be. I think PoE1 could add that too, like a full reset when you portal out or full reset when you log out. Sorceress as well, as a caster weapons, no longer has an attack, and you know, nobody's using melee anyway, right? So they come with a free spell to cast. Now the free spell was not very good, but maybe there will be things to build around there too. So we have Unleash. It's like a cooldown thing you can use. So like every 10-15 seconds you get to like shoot 3 spells. I got Spell Echo, so when I had Spell Echo and Unleash, as you can see, can I just throw that in combat? Wait, okay, how does this work? Am I going at 6 or 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Very, very decent. I do still think it should have more damage because the move's pretty hard to pull off because it has a long cast time. Now, they had a very cool feature with weapon swapping. Now, obviously, right now, we don't weapon swap because we want to level gems, and it's completely pointless. However, they made it very, very cool by the fact that your lightning skills can be set to use your lightning offhand, and there is some sort of like swap penalty, and that it felt a bit janky. Maybe it would just be nicer if they got rid of that and just favor swapping with no downside. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. But very cool feature. And it's automatic, so you set like your lightning skill uses that weapon and your cold skill uses that weapon, and it'll swap automatically. And the passive skills as well, like I think was it 20 skill points that are flexible, so you can put 20 points into lightning on one skill tree and 20 on a cold on another. Very cool. We're getting the closed beta, starts June 7th, 2024. So it's a while away. There's going to be quite a lot of PoE1 until then. I will be making content for both games. I'm nervous how this kind of goes. It's going to be a lot to do. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Most people here at Exilecon were pretty hyped. A lot of worries of gold is the main concern. I'm not a big fan of gold. I really, nearly every time when someone asks me what's my favorite part of PoE, I'm like, currency. It's such a cool system, and I love not having gold. So very worried about that. But, you know, worst case scenario, if I really hate PoE2, I already know I love PoE1. And that's been going in a pretty good direction lately, especially with Sanctum coming back core. But I'll make a separate video talking about that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do. It's like a little bit of a delay on the skills as well. I died twice. And it's not even a hard boss. Like, I haven't even... we haven't even gotten to a hard boss. Oh, that was unideal. Right, we'll just run through